legal issue to be resolved with CIP funds, where it is kept and how it is spent.
I guess Ernest.
Because it brings us back to the Taiwanese funds and this whole thing about treasury funds.
You see, I let Ernest handle that.
Legally.
You see, as we.
Because if funds have been received, and a reasonable amount in terms of the CIP, the accounting we are not satisfied with. Where are those funds?
That's the point.
And where should future funds be held? Yeah. The Prime Minister said the economic fund there are no regulations for it. It seems to me that has to be resolved because the CIP funds, again, the Taiwanese thing, or any other funds held in the Treasury for that purpose. So there was a fragment of a sentence in the law that had a lot of interpretations. It seems to me we should gloss over that one.
Well, you see, I let Ernest handle the CIP part. But there's a general situation regarding, and we made a point a while ago, a lot of laws in the country assume honorable men. They assume men and women of honor and good faith, that will always act in good faith. So the details that may be necessary are not really there in the laws. Right now, there's a new bill, the Public Finance Management Bill, and the Procurement Bill, which were prepared by the CDB and the ECCB, and that would be the standard by which funds are received and spent, and goods are bought and procured by the government. Now, when we were in the Parliament the last time, the Public Finance Management Bill, the Prime Minister agreed to form a committee of the House to discuss that bill. I don't know if you remember that. If you go in the records, you will see that they said it was Dr. Kenny Anthony who said that he thought that bill should be dealt with by a committee of the House. Up to now, that committee has not been formed. But what I got in my package was a draft of the Public Finance Management Bill and asked me to make my comments. But what was agreed was a committee of the House should discuss it. And that's a very important bill because it deals with the funds you spoke about, what happens to grant funds, it's clear, what happens to funds that come from all other areas, what happens with bank accounts being opened, this is clear. But I hope that the Prime Minister goes back to his promise and has a committee of the House to discuss that bill. But it shows when it comes to a basic thing of governance. This morning I heard a minister say, I will give somebody a contract. Minister Feeney. And this is dangerous. We gloss over these things. And I also understood that the Chamber of Commerce is making a point about leaking government documents. I'm surprised that the Chamber of Commerce made that point. What is happening now in the world is whistleblower legislation. That's the order of the day. Government is not a secret. If the government wants to borrow $200 million of NIC funds, that can't be a secret. It can't be a secret. That money doesn't belong to Chasney or to Pierre or to Hille or to anybody else. It belongs to the people of Saint Lucia. So I was very surprised with that statement about government leaking out government information. The only information in government that will be confidential are matters of national security. Any other information should be in the public domain. The Parliament of Saint Lucia meets when it's necessary. The Parliament in the United Kingdom meets every day. In Trinidad it meets every week. In Jamaica it meets every week. There are committees of the House. The business of finances of government are not private matters. For the Chamber of Commerce to be concerned about leaking documents, I do not agree. I think it's a dangerous thing to say. There is legislation for whistleblower legislation to protect whistleblowers who believe the government is doing wrong. You understand? So these matters are very important. The matters of secrecy are important. Yeah. But I want to get
the CIP. You just said a while, essentially, from what you said, that your town and village council report was essentially a waste of resources, time, and whatever else. Because if you commission that report, they may have found some improprieties, quote unquote, in terms of how the funds.
The towns and village council report is still in the possession of the Director of Public Prosecution.
It's still there.
It was sent there and it's still there.
So will your petition will
Well, again, you see, I also had statements about ministers saying, I appointed a new DPP, and making the point that the DPP is a supreme organization. It's supremely independent. No minister, prime minister should ever mention the DPP. The DPP should be, in some places, the DPP is almost a recluse. Because he's the one who has to say who could be charged. But that's the mindset of this government. The mindset. I will give Agnes Francis a contract. That's what Fede said. The Minister for All Affairs said, I will give a contract to a particular construction company. The Prime Minister says, I will give $3,000 to everybody. These guys believe government belongs to them. And that's why in September, we're going to stop that. Government doesn't belong to them. Government belongs to the people of Saint Lucia. And this is a dangerous trend that is developing. And when you oppose, then the heavy stick of victimization comes in and vindictiveness. Look at what's happening to the press in Saint Lucia. Well, have you heard any prime minister asking the press to go and do research? This is insulting. There was a time when certain serious pressmen in Saint Lucia used to say, the press has a right to speculate. They said the press has a right to speculate, and it's up to you. I remember in times under the old UDIP regime, when the press, when they closed Radio Kilibui and they closed Radio Caribbean, the point was the press has a right to speculate. Right now, they say that the press must prove first, must do research, and then come and ask a question. I want to warn you that the press is under threat and under attack in Saint Lucia.
Just a follow-up on the CID funds.
You want the answer first before you follow up? You want the answer first or you want to follow up?
Well, anyone listening there will be
Well, probably.
He's at the podium.
Let's answer this question.
It seems to me that the Prime Minister, for instance,